What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this channel that's all about architecture, engineering and construction, and we are also all about bettering the African narrative. So in this video, we've of course taken some time without recording a video, but whenever time allows, we can be able to record a video so we can enlighten you more about anything to do with construction. Okay, so in this video we are going to be talking about mainly positioning of electrical lights and also planning for electricity, at least for the future of the houses. Okay, things to do with cameras, things to do with solar, things to do with of course switching from solar to umeme and things like that. Okay, and also positioning of the sockets in different rooms and all that. So just to start with, there are some of you who usually like to start to install cameras, at least on your projects after you've done construction. But then you realize that maybe the power system of the camera was not installed before, like you actually didn't plan to have the cameras in the structure before. First of all, as a disclaimer, I don't personally claim myself to be an expert in electrical lighting and electrical installations and all of that. But of course, we as a company and me as part of the team leaders, we need to have some basic knowledge about the different systems, at least to do with electrical, to do with plumbing, to do with structural integrity, to do with architecture and things like that. Okay, but besides that, we always have experts that come in at every stage of the project that can actually do those nitty-gritties that need specialities in different fields. Okay, so but we are just going to be talking about just the surface of electrical wiring and planning for those things. Basically, to start with, if we begin with cameras, it's very important to know that in the future you're going to have cameras installed on your project, because some people literally just build a house and maybe one day when a thief breaks into your home, you now say, oh, I have to actually install cameras, and then you realize where you need to position a camera, you don't have a place where you can get power source to actually power the camera, where to pass the wires that are going to take it to the central system where you can watch all the things on the screen, and you find that you're actually stuck. So if you do not have to chisel through the walls, you'll have to have those small wires running on the surface of your building, which might not be as neat as it should have been if it was planned before ahead of time. That is one of the reasons why we always advocate for having electrical and plumbing drawings. That is very sensitive. Okay, and then so if you're to look at this project, this is one of the projects that we're handling. I will not mention the location because of for the purposes of privacy of our client. So I'm just going to point you to somewhere there. If you are to look at the rest of the house, we have some, besides the holes that you see on the wall, you can see there are 2 holes down on the wall. Yeah. Then you see there is another hole that is right up there next to the window. Now that is going to be a camera point. If you literally move around all the whole structure, wherever there's going to be a camera, you will see that there was a provision actually provided for a camera to sit there. Okay, I think there is so much we can talk about lighting on the outside. We can talk about here. If you have to look at this point, you see that we have those different holes where, for example, here the wall bracket the wall bracket lights are going to be as it appears in the artistic impression. I think we are going to get the artistic impression so you can project it on the screen as well. So we're just going to run quickly through this. I wouldn't want this video to be very long because we have a short break where the boys are not on site. The finishing is done. We've just done the basic, the plastering and doing the molds and all that. So here we just have a foyer and we have a living room here. You might also want to notice that the living room is actually sunken. If you're to look at here, just this very point, there are just 2 steps that lead you into the living room. And then let me just start from this point. You can see this is the area where the TV or the screen is going to sit, just on this wall. And you see that we have provisions at the height of the TV. We have provisions for the power, and we have this provision here. Now, this is something many people are actually forgetting in their projects. This is going to be for the TV, okay? That is for the antenna, whether you're using DSTV, whether you're using StarTimes, GoTV, or whichever it is. It's important to always pass that wire through before, so that at the time when you install the TV, you just plug in your cable into this, and then you're connected to DSTV. Gone are the days when we had people just running a wire running somewhere down, and then it goes through the roof, goes through a window somewhere, and then goes to the antenna, or it goes to the dish, okay? It's very important to always have that, at least so that you'll have your walls appearing very neat without having a lot of wires just moving around as if it wasn't planned for well, okay? So you can see we have a provision for that here. And we also do have a provision for the same here, just in case you might not put your TV at this very height, okay? But we have provisions for those here. Also, you can see that we always do our best to provide for enough sockets as possible in the living room. Even for bedrooms, we are actually going to show you. We always provide for enough sockets so that in case someone is at this side and they want to charge a phone, or they want to plug in any other appliance, they can always do that at their convenience, including the bathroom as well. Some people do not actually provide for power in the bathroom, for like a power socket or outlet in the bathroom. But these days, there are a lot of things we actually do in bathrooms. Anyway, I'm going to talk more about bathrooms when we get there. But right now, let me just show you some little basics about powering in the kitchen. This is just an island for the kitchen, okay? Then I'm going to put, I think, emphasis on here. This is where there's a lot of power, okay? Also, just to notice, if you are to notice, you might realize that most of the walls were actually smooth just there when I was in the living room. And you see that here, the walls are actually rough, the texture is rough. It's because you're actually going to have tiles here. So when you're going to have tiles, you don't have to put lime on the walls, because the walls need to be rough enough so that they can receive the adhesive, and then you put tiles on the walls, okay? But anyway, I want us to talk about the powering of this part of the kitchen. You can see here we have a power source that is going to be either it can be for a percolator, or it can be for an electric cooker, just like below here. If you're to look careful, just below the cabinet, there's also a provision for a power source. Now, also you might want to notice, this is not really the main purpose of the video, but you might want to notice that here, there are many ways in which you can do these kitchen cabinets where we are going to have a cooker point, where it's electric cooker or whether it's using gas and all that. Sometimes, many people usually just leave a void here. For example, you just cast the slab and break it down here and then leave space and continue the slab there. But in this scenario, we just needed to have something seamless and smooth, so that we just have those electric cookers or gas cooker tops that just sit exactly here and flush with the marble that sits here. And that is very important to decide at this very stage. Otherwise, you might just have a space that is not exactly the size of your cooker, but you might see that neatness lacking when you just didn't plan for it before, or when you just left a void and you want to sit in the cooker here. But anyway, that's not the discussion for today. Also, you might want to notice that the powering points are a bit separate. They're a bit far away from the cooking point, because if you had to cook from here, you can't have a socket here. Actually, that was one of the challenges we had when we were actually doing this. The original planning for the socket was actually here, but it's difficult to have heat coming from here and having a socket here. Doesn't make much sense. So that's why it needs to always be offset away from the cooking point. So even when you have a percolator burning here, you can still cook here without having this heat, okay, inconveniencing or affecting the powering point here. I hope you get that point. So of course, we have several other power points. There are many other things you can use in a kitchen. You have appliances like microwaves and things like that. But anyway, I just want us to just run through and go maybe to one of the bedrooms. So I'm just going to take you, we have bedrooms here, but maybe let me just, to hit two birds with one stone, I would like to just go to the bedroom that has a balcony outside. So we are able to hit 2 or 3 birds with the same stone, okay? Now heading to this side, if you are to notice for most of the bedrooms, you're going to realize that, okay, we usually plan for beds to be at specific points of the house. So basically, looking at all this as the master's bedroom, we are not going to go this because there's not We are not going to go this way because there's not much that we can talk about. There is just a walk-in closet. Then we have a bathroom here. We have a quiet room and we have a balcony there, okay? So I just want to put more emphasis here, because today we are talking mainly about things to do with electricity. So we have, you can see we have two switches here. There's a switch here, and there's also a switch over here. Then you also see we have a socket down there. We have a socket down there. So that whenever it's in the night and you want to charge your phones, you don't have to go all the way to the other side of the bedroom or to the other side of the bed to just charge your phone, okay? So it's important to always know that when the bed is going to switch here, you have those bedside switches that are a bit convenient, at least, things like that. Also now still in the master's bedroom, I just want to show you this, something outside here. This right here. You see outside here we have a socket. This very socket that you can see here. This socket can serve very many functions, but it can also be a threat. So for example, this is a balcony that is upstairs. You might want to just bring your laptop and work outside in the balcony, and you might need a power source. So that's what this socket is supposed to be providing for. But also the threat is that, let's say maybe you happen to have a break-in of thieves and they happen to come into the building, and they have equipments that they can use to cut glass or to cut burglars and things like that. And maybe they can also use this, they can take advantage of using this as a power source, so they can power their equipment and start cutting the glass. So whereas we provide for this socket here, we provide a primary switch for it to be actually inside the bedroom, so that even though the socket is here, for you to be able to turn it on, you have to access that through the bedroom. And that is why we have actually two switches here, right here, as you can see. That is why we have two switches. So that is very sensitive and very important. I think that is all to discuss for anything to do with basic, the electrical wiring and all that. Maybe also to just hint on a few. You might notice that there is a small pipe here, right there. That's going to be for a camera. That's going to be for a camera, a security camera over there. So we always have those provided for before anything to do with plastering, okay? That's very important, because if you've plastered, now you want to do things like installing cameras and that. Of course, you might have an advantage that they're actually wireless cameras, that you'll only need a power source, but you won't need to link them together with wires. You can actually use Wi-Fi, but at least provide for power. Even if you don't provide for the all-through wiring of the cameras, at least provide for power, because at least as far as I know, we don't have wireless power. It's only there for phones, okay? I think that is all that we can discuss for us now. Otherwise, I hope you guys have had something to learn. If you're having your project, if you're building your project wherever you are, it's very important to take electric wiring very sensitively, because these are things that people usually take as secondary professionals or secondary fields in construction. You think you'll just bring an electrician to just come and do wiring just off head. A lot of things can be missed out through, okay? So maybe we can just go to the terrace. Let's just go to the terrace and see. So you notice, if you look at the terrace, we have, of course, these big pillars, but you notice this small pipe that's here. If you can see that clearly, you'll see that for all of them. Look at that one, look at that one, look at that one, look at that one. They all have pipes popping out, which means that there's going to be lighting on those points, and that's very sensitive as well, okay? Otherwise, I think that's all to provide for. Don't mind these holes you're seeing here. They're supposed to connect to the drainage. This is also a power source, okay? Yeah, basically that is just for planning of things like that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I hope there has been a lot to learn. And if you are new to this channel, thank you for coming here. And please subscribe and also like the button and invite more of your friends to come and keep watching more of these videos.